Today is the focal point where all that is non-physical is focused upon your time-space reality for the powerful and important experience of enjoying the new explosion of new ideas in this moment. And every moment of every day for all eternity will be that and nothing more than that. And in 2013, we'll have the same conversation. In 2014, we'll have the same conversation. In 2015. In other words, it's someone wanting to explain, getting parts of it from this non-physical awareness of the power of this now. What people are beginning to feel all around your planet is the power of focus. We've been saying that these are the best of times, and they're also the worst of times because they are the most of times. So those who are focusing in alignment with their grid are just having the exhilaration and are experiencing the benefit, not just of what's going on your planet today, but of everything that has been going on from the beginning of all consciousness, you see. This power and clarity and intelligence and love that we all are is as a result of the culmination of all that we have lived. We just want our physical friends to consciously acknowledge the existence of this expanded version of life experience and to allow themselves the benefit of it in the here and now. So as this energy is moving faster, because the contrast is greater, that means that when you're in alignment with who you really are, your experience is dramatically enhanced. And when you're out of alignment with who you really are, your experience is dramatically enhanced. In other words, it's just more obvious than it has ever been before. We've been saying for a long while that those who have and those who have not are going to be more exaggerated because you get what you think about. And it does not matter how hard you try to reorganize everything in terms of physical action. The laws of the universe are so powerful that it returns to its vibrational place. Let's start in this place. Sometimes you don't really know that you want something until you really know that you don't want something.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes you don't really know that you don't want something until you really know that you want something. Mm-hmm. And so, attention to what you want. Sometimes you're picking up that stick thinking that you're giving your attention to what you do want without realizing that you're pushing against what you do not want. Yeah. We don't want to get too heavy into this. You said it's a heavy subject because this is one of the reasons that we moved from calling this gathering the art of allowing rather than the science of deliberate creation. Because as you get so specifically focused, as you try to contemplate every single thought that you're thinking and put it into some sort of category about whether I thought it more than others, we just want you to understand that nothing manifests that is out of vibrational whack with what you've got going on. This analogy that we're going to offer you here is going to answer your question completely. You may have heard us say that what manifests is always a vibrational match to what you're thinking and feeling. It always is. And then we take it further, and it's easy for you to understand this, that what manifests in your dream state, what you're dreaming about, is also a manifestation of what you're thinking and what you're feeling. But we want you to focus for just a little bit that your dream and your real life experience, but it's easier to hear it about the dream. Your dream is showing you a perfect representation of the essence of what you've got going on vibrationally. But the details fill in with what you've been thinking about recently. Sometimes people will say, oh, I had this dream and it was weird because it was people I didn't really know, or it was about this specific thing that I saw that on television the other day, or oh yeah, I saw that in a magazine the other day. So you're filling in the details with stuff that's still active within you. But the happening within it and the way the dream caused you to feel is the true meat and substance of the creation, as is what's manifesting. And so the details of it, they're just the filler.
Okay.
I say. It's sort of like the plot to the movie is the plot. Right. And then they put all that other stuff in just to make you feel like you got your money's worth. With all the action scenes. So, in wanting you to understand this, we began by saying, you know, you are more than you see. And many of you said, okay. And then we said, and you create your own reality. Seth coined those words. And many of you said, yes. And then you said, yes. We create our own reality? That seems like responsibility. And I'm certain that I wouldn't create this reality, this specific thing, because I don't want it. Why would I create something unwanted? And we say, we didn't say that you create it on purpose. We said you create it. You create it by your attention, by your focus, by your vibrational stance, by your point of attraction. Because whatever you're giving your attention to has a vibrational frequency. And as you focus upon it, you offer that frequency. You become that frequency. It becomes your point of attraction. And law of attraction answers your point of attraction with other things like it. So when you're knowing what you don't want, law of attraction is saying, well, you might not like this too, here. Oh, you might not like this either, here. How's it going? Want some more? How about this? How about this? Now, the wonderful thing about that is, in knowing what you don't want, you're launching these rockets of what you do want. But the question that we want to put to you is, how long will it be once you've launched that rocket of desire before you become aware that you're not lined up with it and you make some effort to become a vibrational match to it? And that really is what the art of allowing is all about. It's about you allowing yourself to be a vibrational match, not just to what you want, but that's a big thing, but to who you have become as a result of wanting it, who you really have become as a result of the contrast that has caused you to become it. So we'll ask you again, do you know what you're wanting? Do you know why you're here? Are you clear about what this conversation is about? Do you get it that you are blended and that you are blending with us? Do you get it that you have an inner being who is blending with you? Do you get it that your mind is more powerful and more focused than most people understand it to be? Do you understand that the fullness of you can have this experience here together today? And you like the idea of that? We do. So, sometimes it's helpful to have a significant enough thing occur that when you look at it, you just can't stand it to make you decide or determined that you're going to look somewhere else. In other words, most humans, we love you very much, but if there is something that you do often that we would prefer you not do so often for your own good, it is that you examine what is with such fervor that you slow down what you've asked for and you don't let it come. Your awareness of what is mostly what's active in your vibration. So you either got to be a really good sifter where you're just looking for things to appreciate in what is, or you've got to be a better visualizer so that you're imagining more of what you want, or a really good meditator where you quiet your mind to deactivate, but you have to do something to slow that momentum. Because law of attraction is going to keep it going. Your vibration is where you last left it on every subject, you see. So unless you decide to do something different with it, it's going to carry on. So let's say that you've been fussing about things, you've been uncomfortable, maybe even complaining to people. And you've been doing it for long enough that you've got a pretty active vibration going on about that. So formerly we called that your point of attraction. Now we're calling it your grid. Are you following the idea of the grid? It's like the framework of a building that will fill in with more specific details. But it's the basis. It's the root that is, it's sort of like the average of the thoughts that you've been thinking and what they represent vibrationally. So let's say you've been fussing and worrying and arguing and complaining, and that's a grid that you've got going on. And because that's the grid that you've established, it's filling in. It's filling in with more annoying people. Next logical step. It's filling in with more things going wrong. Next logical step. It's filling in because law of attraction is bringing to you what your point of attraction equals. You follow? Now, we really like this word that we're going to now apply to the grid. Momentum. Law of attraction causes a momentum to flow into the grid. And that momentum is what addiction is. It's the manifested behavior that matches the momentum That's why we say there are positive addictions, because there certainly are positive momentums, and there are what you would call negative addictions. So all we're talking about is somebody, without knowing what they were doing, established a point of attraction, a grid, a habit of thought. They beat the drum of things that they do not want, and did it long enough that now there's momentum going. And so the thing that we want to shine the spotlight on for you is, don't try to fill in your own grid quite so much. And we're giving that to you softly, to all of you, because we know you live in a world where you got stuff you got to do. It's important that you feed your family. We see them at the table. Children, just fill in your own grid. There's no food in the house, but fill in your own grid. You might get a little hungry if you all of a sudden withdraw action or behavior from the equation, and that's not what we're encouraging you to do. But we're encouraging you to put more emphasis on the grid, what you want and why you want it, how you feel. More emphasis on the general, how it feels in the seminars, how it feels to offer a piece to someone, the piece that they're looking for. To recognize that it is not one missing piece that everyone is looking for, it's a missing piece for everyone, and the piece keeps shifting for every person in every moment of every day. Because the piece you're looking for isn't the same piece day after day after day after day. And the important thing is, it isn't missing. It's not missing. There is no missing piece. There's only the perspective of a missing piece. And the perspective of the missing piece will keep you from finding that piece, and then that piece, and then that piece, and then that piece, and that piece. But those pieces are all lined up. Oh, you should see the pieces in the vortex. The cooperative pieces in the vortex. They're there. They're ready. The question is, are you? And the answer is maybe and maybe not. So the next question is, well, how can you get ready? And the answer to that is, stop trying so hard to be ready. Stop trying so hard to be ready, and accept that you're ready. Accept that you have all the tools right here and now. Because right here and now, you have the ability to stop doing that thing you do that is preventing you from seeing the pieces. And what's that thing you do that's stopping you from seeing the pieces? It's keeping something active that keeps you from seeing the pieces. So what's the answer? Always the same. Just slow it down. Do you believe, we're asking all of you this, do you believe that you came into this experience with purpose? And do you believe that you have been effectively, perfectly carving out those desires one by one, or 10 by 10, or 100 by 100? Do you believe that you've been doing that you've been fulfilling your purpose of discovery? And do you believe that you have been setting forth these vibrational requests, and that they do exist in vibrational form, readying themselves for your readying of yourself? Ooh. Readying themselves for your readying of yourself. Do you believe that? It's logical. So if all of that is true, then isn't it just the most logical thing in the world that this that you've been asking for, which is ready to flow to you when you're ready. It's not going to come before you're ready, because it wouldn't be right if it came before you're ready, because your readiness is a component of it. So isn't it logical that if you could just cease doing the things that prevent your readiness, that you'd be ready? This conversation, this interaction, and this has been a conversation even though Esther's is the only voice you have heard. In other words, Esther is allowing us to demonstrate our vibrational knowledge through her voice. But you are demonstrating your vibrational knowledge through your thoughts. So we've been having a very valid, real, important conversation. Whether you are among the few hundred sitting in this room, or whether you are among those out in cyberland who are tuning in. This live broadcast, this worldwide live broadcast, the lives that you have been living, the contemplation that you've been offering, the words that you've just heard now, have caused an expansion of this universe, because this conversation has never been before until all of the universe. We've enjoyed this interaction more than words can explain, and we've been way out there on the leading edge. We want to compliment you on your willingness to sit and listen to us talk incessantly about the laws of the universe and about the emotions that move through you. We know for sure that as a result of your willingness to just listen, that your vibration has been moved to a different place than it was before we had this conversation. It only takes 17 seconds of non-diluted focus in order to shift vibration, and you have been giving far more than that. 68 seconds of holding yourself in a vibration of well-being.